This is our Unconstitutional Awakening program.
Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
Brought to you by Getty, consultant we designed.
Ahoy there, mateys. It's time to set sail on another episode of Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast. Avast ye as we explore the unfolding global conspiracy known as life with special guest Kyle, host of Big Dumb Inquiries. Kyle is a great podcaster because he has a very specific, nuanced way of thinking about things that we all obsess about. And this makes for interesting conversation and ideas that can go a little deeper. You guys make sure you check out the links in this episode to get back to everything Kyle, as well as the links that we'll be sharing during the episode and discussing and such. Of course, you guys can find all of those fantabulous links in your favorite spot at the one and only unconstitutionalawakening.com. You guys know the place. It's everybody's favorite place to go and check up on everything Unconstitutional Awakening, the one and only and original, which you guys make sure you go back over there to the thing and check out what we've got going on, guys. You know, there's always stuff going on over there. While you're there, you can check out our host section and follow all your favorite hosts on social media or any of the groups and the podcast and more section that are full of things from each host of the show, as well as all the links you'll need to watch and listen to the show. And of course, I got to give that big shout out to everybody that is watching and listening. We can't thank you enough for making this possible. Your love for us is what keeps us going. And don't forget, while you're there, to make sure you check out our fantabulous merch store. You know, that there's always some great stuff going on there. You guys can get you one of these sweet Unconstitutional Awakening shirts, and we've got the Freedom Pirate flag, as well as Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast logos. So you guys can get on over there and get all that good stuff. And while you're there, you make sure you check out our sponsors. You guys know, our friends in Liberty and stuff like that are helping change the world in big ways while everything's crumbling around us, you guys. Be sure you check out Kirk Elliott, Peachy Key Creations, Ammo Can Survival, Brett Pike with Cubs to Bears books, and Homeschools Connected, as well as our newest show partner, Jason Christoffs, who's doing some really, really great things with his Stopping Self-Sabotage Concept program. You guys, there's a link for that now. You guys go sign up for that while you can. It's only open 2 times a year for a short period of time, so I recommend you guys trying to get in there and see if there's any way Jason can help you, man. He does a lot of great things. So with that, lads and lassies, let's launch this ship and into the vast ocean of time we'll be navigating together until we come back as a united force, trying to make this the best podcast there is out there. Good evening, everyone. I'm glad you could join me, of course. Kyle, thank you for being a guest over here on the show with us tonight, man. We appreciate you coming and joining us.
Well, gentlemen, it's always a pleasure. It was great having y'all on Big Dumb Inquiries. I think by far that's our longest episode with the most amount of clips, and it was worth it. It was really fun. And then
Nice.
we chatted a couple days ago in the tavern, always fun. And thanks for working with my schedule. I know I had to reschedule, but I'm glad we're here now. Should be fun. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. Luis, how you doing up there tonight, buddy?
Good. A little less blood in my system. That took like a whole pint, but yeah, alive. Had a great nurse.
Are you planning on cloning or something, bud? What you got going on?
He's doping.
I wish. And if doping, which drugs, please suggest any.
No, he's got a 5K this weekend, so he wants to get his blood spun up so he can dope it and win the 5K.
New York stuff, yeah.
Oh, I mean, what's funny with that is that if you look at Lance Armstrong, that was constantly doping for the 7 times that he won. Nobody questioned the person that was second place.
No, I think no, you're right. Because if they took out the apparently, like, he just got caught because he won so much, but everybody was doing. I think the last, like, the highest guy who wasn't doping was like 14th or something like that.
So if you look at what it was the amount of platelets. So his heart was enlarged. So because his heart was enlarged, he didn't get as affected. He can pump more blood, and he wasn't as affected because of the large amount of red blood cells that were in his system. There was another guy that recently died because he had such a high amount of that red blood cell, and he couldn't get off that crap. He had to cycle every single day, even at night, just to keep his heart from going too low. If his heart rate went below like the 40s, he could just die in the sleep.
It's like that movie.
So look, guys, they've been apparently doping since the 1880s all the way up to 2022. So I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon.
I think Robin Williams did a really good stand-up piece.
Let's watch the extremes. At this point, legalize it. There should be a league. They should legalize it and just watch the limits of human capacity.
Right?
True limits.
I think
have an open doping league. Just let them do whatever the fuck they want.
I think
let them do steroids, man. I want to see how fast somebody can go on a bike.
No, I want to see how fucking
85 miles per hour.
I want to see how many home runs they can hit in the World Series.
No. Actually, no. That would be bad. That would make it so the balls would go 140 miles per hour. They would explode in the hand of the.
That's what I'm saying.
Robin Williams did a good stand-up on the blood doping with Lance Armstrong, and it wasn't the blood doping. It was the fact he was a uniball and got extra aerodynamics. That was Robin Williams' actual stand-up bit about that.
Robin always had a good angle.
So I guess anyway, Bandit, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Good, man. I'm glad you were able to join us tonight. It's always a pleasure having you here with me too. So
we were talking about chili.
Yeah, we were getting into some nonsense about chili there because why the fuck not? It's not nonsense.
It's not nonsense.
You're right. I apologize.
Chili is not nonsense.
I worded that wrong. I'm just saying I guess we were calling each other out on some chili. Like you always hear the myths and the nonsense and the back and forth, whether it's got beans, whether it doesn't. Does it take corn? Should it take everything? Yada, yada. Everybody's got their own take on it, I believe. And chili really is kind of in a funny way, different. You won't find the same chili on the same street. Think about it like that.
It's a very personal thing. Yes.
And think about how much culture is hidden in each one of these different chilies, whether you're, from not even from America, but you're making some kind of chili, or whether you're from the north side of America compared to the west side, compared to the south end, compared to somewhere out in the middle blue of nowhere like Bandit. Like, chili's got different takes. And, I'm a beans and corn. And we were discussing what kind of beans do we use. And I get given shit because I use they're chili beans, but they're a specific kind, I guess. They're called ranch beans. I don't know if anybody's familiar with them.
Ranch style beans. Oh my God. Okay. My criticism on you using that in your chili is that it's already chili. I mean, that's cheating. You can just eat a can of those by themselves if you don't want to make a full thing of chili.
No, all right.
Which I recommend. If you get any deer sausage or anything, what I did with most of my deer sausage all last year was throw 2 cans of ranch style beans, preferably with the jalapenos, 2 cans of ranch style beans, a can of Rotel hatch green chilies and tomatoes, and a pound of venison sausage chopped up. You don't have to add you don't have to do.
Dude, add nothing.
Amazing.
Dude,
How
listen.
long are you cooking it?
So
20
that's
minutes.
that's what I was getting at, is because I'm not big. I don't like to buy the like chili seasoning like pre-made and stuff that people get or whatever.
No.
So the closest the closest starter I'll use is those ranch beans.
They're good.
And then I add the rest of my stuff to it. Of course, I add some more things to it as well because I mean I like mine a little spicy. You know what I mean?
Oh yes.
And I don't know. You go all out, like we were kind of saying here. It's kind of a little bit of everything that you got left over. It could be some corn, some onions, some
I'll
bell
say that
peppers,
my,
some tomatoes.
My chili style has evolved and it changes depending on. So I guess you could consider what I just brought up about the venison sausage and the ranch style beans. You could consider that a chili. I call that like a quick chili, like 30 minutes, a quick meal on the stove. But if I'm making like crock pot chili or a big crock pot chili or whatever for the week or whatever, I will do, I'll go buy just every kind of bean off the shelf, every kind of, except like black beans, but I even throw like garbanzo beans. It's like high protein, good vitamins, good minerals. Of course, you got to throw a little corn in there, and then I'll just put ground beef and onions. What I'll do is I'll cook the onions and the ground beef on the skillet for a little bit first.
Yes.
Then throw that all in. But yeah, it changes. I think and sometimes
bell peppers
really
mix right there.
bell peppers too.
Me and you are on the same route, other than like Bandit. I do beef and sausage. I believe that
I've tried it before. Yeah, absolutely. I think,
or venison if I'm lucky enough to have some.
Yeah, I think
and that's the beauty. That's the beauty of chili. I mean, everybody has their own definition, and it can be their own thing. And the only people that I feel are wrong are people who don't put beans in their chili.
Well, I'm a Texas man, okay? And this in Texas, if you go to like a Texas chili cook-off, which are very popular here, you will get shunned for putting beans in your chili. Now, not to say that the all meat chilies aren't good, but you're basically just eating meat soup at that point.
You are.
That's what I was gonna say. You're literally eating meat soup.
Meat soup, man.
That makes sense to me. It's like, what are you mixing it with? So it's chicken. So let's say it's the beef. But
now, if you're gonna put that like on a hot dog, I think that's okay. If you're gonna put the meat on like a hot dog with some cheese, okay. But if you're doing like just
a hot dog a sandwich,
okay, that we can't get into that tonight. That's too much, dude. That's too much.
Please. Don't disrespect chili dogs like that, okay?
Chili dogs are amazing. I'm definitely
amazing.
Why did we started calling them hot dogs?
Well, if you technically eat a hot dog, hey, hold on a second. If you eat a hot dog, you yourself become a hot dog.
Oh God!
I saw that. Nope.
Yes, because as it's going through your intestines become the outer skin for the hot dog, so you are a walking, talking hot dog after you eat a hot dog.
Correct.
There's no answer.
No, there's no answer. I just looked up etymology of hot dog, and it said a frankfurter served on a hot bun.
So it might have happened in the U.S. for sure. The naming.
I mean, you can't tell me Germans ain't been eating sausages on buns.
I know hamburger is like something that happened in Germany. I know that like it was like somebody was like, "Hey, let me put this meat inside of this bread." And
unless you go to Hamburg, New York, and then they want to claim it.
Yeah, I worked. So
when I lived there, they wanted to claim that in
Nathan's hot dogs. I mean Nathan's. I mean
no. In the town of Hamburg, New York. I lived in Buffalo for a little while.
Hamburg, Germany.
No, but this was New York. They lay claim. They lay claim to making the first hamburger in the American area.
Oh, there is a place, isn't there? It's here that was like that's a few hundred years old. That's a restaurant that serves like the style that's cool though. Like there's a place that serves you like the original style of what the most popular. They probably weren't the inventors, but what was the most prominent a few hundred years ago, and it looks decent. It looks like a decent hamburger. I
just say if you happen to find yourself in Buffalo, New York, you want some.
Is that where they cook? Is that where they cook the hamburgers in the oil, the same oil that they've been using for like 90 years or so. No, there's a restaurant here in the U.S. that cooks hamburgers
a place like that in Buffalo
on a skillet, and they have the remnants, and it's just been going and going and going for the same for like 90 years.
I mean,
there's something called Centennial Soup, Bandit, if that's what you're talking. There's a soup, a restaurant that they just have had the same pot boiling for like 100
no, there's a burger joint, like a diner that has been using the same grease for like 90 years or so to cook their hamburgers.
I don't know exactly how you can do that. There has to be some form of
it keeps going and going and going. It's at a molecular scale. Okay.
Diners, hamburgers.
It's at a molecular scale, not like same.
That one's in Tennessee,
amount.
But there is one in Buffalo. They've been doing it for a long time too.
Why am I not surprised that's in Tennessee?
But I was about to go on a rant about a place called Imperial Pizza. Like they screwed me up so bad on pizza that there is nowhere else in the world I can get a pizza. Bro, I'm just they make everything.
It's that New York dough. It's that New York dough.
No, it's the insects inside of our water that makes the dough. It's the microbiology in the water.
This is Lackawanna, New York that I'm talking about, though.
No, but listen,
I ran around that place for a couple of years terrorizing it. Like, you could just imagine a pirate set free on the streets of New York. Like, I lived in Buffalo, like in downtown, so it was on, man. Like, and I was young and rambunctious.
I mean, he's alive, so the miracle that he survived.
So Kyle, man, I want the folks out there to know a little bit about you. So I really like for you to talk about your show for a minute here. So tell us a little bit about what you got going on with your stuff.
Yeah, man, we're going on. I keep saying we because I started the show with the co-host, and he's no longer with us. He's just next door raising his family, so he's not dead. He just got his wife pregnant and started a new career. And Bandit's like, well, he's dead.
No, okay. Please don't. If my other half listens, please save me.
No, I'm just messing with you, dude. But yeah, so it's been solo for about a year now. Just get on guests on the Big Dumb Podcast. Oh, that's the name of the show, the Big Dumb Podcast. And yeah, man, it's fun. I'm trying to get my buddy from college to be my co-host. We'll see if that ever happens. But yeah, man, I'm just thinking about rebranding maybe a little bit. I don't know. Life has just I got married this summer, and so life has just been kind of all over the place. And so the show has kind of been on the back burner. Unfortunately, I love doing what I do, but it's just like I have to make sure that everything else is in order, like for me to be able to do this and have fun with it. Right. So I actually just got a new job. I accepted a new job today. So I'm going to be moving soon. There's going to be, and it's over the holidays. It's like the next month, 2 months are going to be absolutely stressful. So
sure.
But as far as the show goes, man, I try to have fun. I try to talk to interesting people. I try to keep conversations going. I'm really good at talking and interviewing people, not so much like heavy on the research stuff. Like I can do research, but I'm like, I did so much of that bullshit in college, like research. I'm like, in high school, I don't do that anymore. I'll let other people do it and I'll talk to them about it. But yeah, we have fun. I love doing a beer review every now and then. We'll do a live beer review on YouTube where I'll drink some beers and review them. And then of course I have Big Dumb Inquiries with Shane, and which is
was a blast. Like
it's just kind of like we wanted to start a show together, like a little bonus show, but we didn't know what it was going to be. So it's fun building a show like on the fly, like as we go. We didn't know what it was going to, and it just kind of became this thing now where we have clips and we talk about it and we have guests on and stuff. So it's fun, man. This is just my hobby for now. I don't and I want to make sure it stays fun. I guess that's important. If it stops being fun, if it feels like work, it's like, oh man, why am I doing this? Because I'm not making any money.
No, I totally get that and understand. I mean, we've all got a million things going on. We've slowed down production, I guess, a little bit. Not really, but a little bit since we started. But it's just I don't want to overdo it and wear myself out. Like everybody else already tells me now that they feel like I do a little bit too much. But hey, man,
burnout is real, man, and especially doing a one-man show is when you're doing all the production, all the research, all the booking, dude. That's why I want to get my buddy from college on as a co-host, so I don't have to book guests every show. That's a pain in the ass, dude. I'm sure you know, like getting guests and getting, especially with other co-hosts, everything scheduled. It's not easy, dude.
I send out. Like I'll get a little behind, but like last night, for example, I sent out 30 messages, and of those 30 messages, maybe 10 people might get back to me quickly, but like, it's not. I don't sweat it. Like I go as it can, and there's a couple people that we've made great friends with that are regular guests to come on here and conversate.
I would say that's the best part about this whole community, dude, is just the people. Even if nothing comes out of it, as far as like
we're making some awesome friendships.
Hey! I'd like to interrupt. Can I interrupt? Can I interrupt real quick? The message is out. He's made his announcement.
Oh yeah,
he is running for president in 2024. Oh my God, man! We are gonna have.
I'm going to Twitter.
Twitter is going to be alive, man.
This is the I was gonna say about it here. That's the actual submission.
Well, somebody send it. Yeah. Send it. Even if it's in the group chat, I can pull it up on here. I got it pulled up.
Thanks for interrupting. We meant to keep an eye on that. Okay. I have I'm on Jack Posobic's Telegram. We are all announcing for president. Let's go. Trump paperwork has been filed with the FEC. Dude,
did he sell pillows again?
Hashtag promo code POSO, baby.
My God.
Yeah, so I got to go through this again.
Like, dude, we're all going through it again. We're all going to go through it again.
I mean, it's a miracle he didn't even. I mean, the crazier part would have been, I'm just going to create a whole new party. I'm like, he could have done that far.
That would have done that. I think
that would have been the insane move.
Did y'all see right before this announcement, like an hour ago, someone flew a plane over Mar-a-Lago with a tail sign that said, "You lost again, loser, Desantis 2024."
DeSantis has all the money behind him. That's the
because
part.
Wall Street, all these big. I mean, they want things to go back to the way they were before, like Obama. Like, I think that's what
DeSantis is going to be similar to Obama, honestly.
Yeah, I think so.
Because he's competent, and all they're looking for is just, can we just get competence? Just partial competence.
Yeah, you can be corrupt, you can kill kids in foreign countries, you can, murder United States civilians. Like, that's fine, but we just want like someone who can
just rename yourself Drone Strike DeSantis.
Drone Strike DeSantis.
The double D, man.
Dude, that's a great slogan. Yeah, let's start bombing brown kids again.
Yeah, Drone Strike DeSantis, man. We are, man. Look at Syria.
Here it comes.
I don't see. Oh,
you lost again, Donald.
DeSantis 2024.
That's some rich people.
Oh, man, 2024 is going to be absolutely lit, man. I'm telling you.
Can I drop a theory?
How much they spent on the midterms?
Oh, hold on.
No, you're right. This is the most they've ever spent on midterms.
$10 billion
on ads, not on campaign.
Yeah. The media is just loving this time. They're like surviving.
Did you just say the Democratic Party laundered money through that RTX thing through Ukraine?
Oh my God.
to support all of their commercials?
Oh. That is a theory, man. It's
not a theory, though. I mean,
it's not there's no proof, but it is a theory. But we all know it's real, but there's no proof.
It's very known that the Democratic Party made at least $100 million.
No shit.
That's on paper. That's on paper. So imagine what's not on paper.
Billions.
What's that theory you got for us, Kyle?
It should be on a blockchain, and we can read that ledger and see where that money's going. But anyway, my theory for the last 2 years has been we might not have a midterm election, which we just did. So part of my theory is wrong, but I've been saying also we will certainly not have a 2024 election. I don't think it's going to happen. There's going to be some event that kicks off where, FDR style, where it's, an emergency or something happens where we will not be able to hold elections in 2024. I don't think it's going to happen.
The senile old man can't keep going. They're got to replace him with something.
Dude, he only works 2 days a week, and then his body double works the other 2 days.
Did you see he had?
And they shoot him full of meth. They shoot him full of meth before every speech anyway. So I mean,
did you see him today? He's like, oh no, I got to go to sleep. I can't go to the gala. He had to go rest. He had to deal with.
Well, I think if we consider the advancements in CIA mask technology, a la Mission Impossible, things like that. I mean, since the 70s, they've had this pretty down to a good science. And just, that was 50 years ago. Imagine what they have now. And I think it's just going to get, I think it's only, I don't think
we're joking that he was just going to make Newsom vice president and then resign.
Yeah, I heard that. No, that was actually like a news article saying like this is a playbook, like a possible play by.
I mean, nobody likes Newsom. He is hated.
Dude, I don't know if y'all listen to the War Mode podcast. It's a great show, but they just did a whole deep dive on the Getty family and their connections to the Pelosi's and the Newsoms, and how it's just basically like they're like old money.
There was a documentary that was online that they took down that was about the Brown, the Gettys, and the Pelosi's, and how insanely corrupt they are for how they run the state.
Generations. Yeah, for generations.
I mean, Getty's being like one of the richest. They're worth billions, and they are institutionalized into.
And one of the Getty heirs is actually funding all of these climate protests where they throw paint on these works of art and glue themselves.
Yeah, the Stop Oil movement.
Yeah, that's a Getty heir. One of the granddaughters or something is funding all of that.
That the weirdest part is there's no proper direction to it. So, okay, you want people to stop using oil. Okay. What's the alternative? Nothing? All right. Then go fuck yourself.
They're using oil-based paint on, and I'm sorry, not paint. Yeah, they're throwing oil-based paint on oil paintings. It's like, what? And then oil-based glue? The super glue is a petroleum product, dude. What are you doing? How are you going to glue yourself to shit if there's no glue? And there's also, heiress of billionaire Getty oil dynasty donates $1 million to stop oil. And they made their money from oil, dude. It's absurd.
Well, it's distracting, but the good news is Europe, now 4 countries in Europe, I think now they're developing nuclear reactors again.
This is somebody who actually probably took some advice from somebody over at Philip Morris, and they're playing both sides of the fence. Just like, because this is, again, I don't know why we keep ending up in New York tonight, but I had a Marlboro rep that come out to the store that I ran. It was a gas station that I ran. And I used to give him a really hard fucking time because I was young and I had learned about the Truth Campaign being funded by Philip Morris and started and backed or whatever. And so I was like, wait a minute. I was like, so you guys are playing both sides of the fence? And he's like, and he just looked at me and he was just like, well, you got to make your money somehow. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like,
well, remember Truth?
That's what I'm talking about. The Truth Campaign. Like they were Philip Morris backed. They were like, that's who started that. And like, it's still going on. It's just, they're like, we can make money off of people that are anti-cigarette.
The medicine to get off smoking is made by the same people that sell you the smoking.
Yeah. Well, I know a part of that was that one part of their lawsuits or their fines was that they had to fund campaigns for anti-smoking ads. I know that was part of it, but I bet they were like, well, if we're getting fined, we might as well try to capitalize on it too.
Nope.
And they bought out Juul, they put them out of business. They put in their own products and there's this product.
It was just made as a tax. Like it was made, like they bought the company, then they bankrupted, and then they can get a tax break.
There's another device or a product coming out called the IQOS, which is actually
it's been around for a while in Europe and Asia. It's just they haven't for some reason brought it into the US. But
that's what they're trying to do because it's actually
a tobacco product.
So that And a weird thing too with the states is like it's called the estate tax or something. Basically, like the state gets funding for all the people that end up in hospitals from dying of cancer and emphysema and stuff. And so the state wants to get people back on tobacco products, even if it is a vape product still or whatever.
Well,
It's fuck,
the
dude.
estate tax is for people over a net worth of 5.2 million, I believe.
Maybe I missed. It's like the master state agreement is what it's called. I
think you're talking. Yes, you're speaking.
So
about
can we go back to Joe Camel commercials, Marlboro Man ads and stuff like that?
My uncle was a Marlboro Man. Like, no joke. He actually was part of the advertising for Marlboro in the past.
That's pretty badass, but not really, but pretty badass.
Then he smoked Winston and died of Winston.
That's what my grandpa
Winston
smoked till the day he died. Was Winston Lights killed him. I mean, Jesus, yeah.
Advertised for Marlboro, but Winston killed him.
Yeah.
My grandpa smoked a pipe like a man, and he died from that. So,
really, if you're gonna smoke anything, at least buy or like real.
We used to get these cigarettes in Iraq called beaties, and
beaties, actually,
they were. It was a piece of a tobacco leaf with a crushed up tobacco leaf in it, and it was just rolled up and tied in the middle with a piece of twine. You could get a pack of 30 of those for like $1.
Interesting.
There was a video. I remember this from years ago, and I've actually made some videos based off of it. When there was the big push for big government trying to take over in the vape world to begin with, and it was talking about what you were kind of talking about up there, Kyle, about how there was a big agreement where there was a whole bunch of money spent that didn't actually exist because of tobacco companies and deals with the different states and stuff like that, and that's why there's all these taxes and stuff on it. And they were losing.
They depend on tobacco sales.
They were losing so much money on that. That's why they went after vaping. And when they seen they actually couldn't destroy it, they decided they were going to try to regulate it. And this is something I kept up with for quite a long time. And I've seen the different ones come on and off the market that like are backed by the big brands. And to be honest, they're absolute garbage. Like a lot of your little local vape brands are probably a lot safer than anything else that's going on there.
Back in the Wild West days of the vape wars, like local vape shops could mix their own juice, and it was oftentimes a lot cleaner, a lot better. And then they got shut down, regulations stepped in and stuff like that. But like I used to be a smoker. Now I use tobacco-free nicotine pouches. So it's basically just like a nicotine salt, and you put them in your lip like a dip, but you don't have to spit, nothing like that. And it's saved my lungs, but now I'm addicted to these like a motherfucker. But I'm looking at the manufacturer. It's Swedish Match NA LLC, Richmond, Virginia. So I guarantee
Richmond, Virginia. Come on.
Oh my God. This reminds me of the Simpsons episode when what's his face? What was the clown's name in the Simpsons when he was trying to quit smoking? He was covered.
The one that's Kelsey Grammer? The voice that's Kelsey Grammer?
No, the clown. What was his name in The Simpsons?
The crazy
man?
clown.
My memory.
You're talking about the guy that looks like Homer, but with the clown makeup.
He was covered in nicotine patches from like head to toe because he was trying to quit smoking.
Oh, where did it go?
Yeah, I believe it, dude. The smoking cessation industry is just as big as the smoking. Same with anything, dude. Same with anything.
So now I've got. All right, there was something I was going to bring up here. Actually, see, I'm an advocate for natural tobacco because I wish the government would free the tobacco seed because there's a lot of medicinal uses there, and because the government controls tobacco seeds and controls who gets to grow them and all that good stuff. Me and you can't do that. It's just like it's almost like having a marijuana leaf in your plant in your yard. You'd have the ATF bashing down your door because of a tobacco plant.
Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms.
So a couple of years ago, there was a breakthrough in natural tobacco and Alzheimer's, and I was literally trying to pull up some articles about it while we were sitting here leading into this, and they all pull up but immediately go blank. Let me show you what I'm saying real quick.
Try to use a different browser. It could be a browser issue.
And they immediately do this, like they just go blank, like it says back to top, but there's nothing. It is the top.
Go to the Wayback Machine.
Yeah.
Go to the Wayback Machine, because I think what happens sometimes is they get.
I found one.
That's another thing. The World Economic Forum disconnecting themselves from FTX. That was fun.
Yeah.
They deleted all connections.
They can try, but what they fail to realize is that the internet is forever. I mean, everything is screenshotted, everything is documented, whether you want to believe it or not. I mean, you can't pay enough money and try and wipe your you can't get rid of something when it goes on the internet.
Well, that's why you
right,
propagate something so you make people
Here
forget.
forever.
So
Exactly. You trigger an event.
what
That
do you
will make
guys
them
think
forget.
of what happened in Arizona, that the Treasury Secretary got more
votes than the governor?
Anybody? Okay, let me be real.
Oh, yeah, hold on.
In
Hold
the
on.
history of any state,
Tell me what
what
happened.
other
though. I
state
don't-
has had that happen?
Tell
The
me what happened.
Secretary. Okay, the Secretary of State, the Republican Secretary of State, got more votes than any other candidate.
The
In
Treasury
the history of
right?
any election in the United States, have you ever heard of the Secretary of Treasury getting more votes than anyone else?
No, the Treasury Secretary for the state of Arizona was running at the same time. Everything. They had what was it?
There's this graph.
The incumbent Democrat. What? No.
Democrat
Was she the incumbent? Katie Hobbs and Carrie Lake were running.
She was running the election, which she did not. She did not exit. She was not supposed to be there. She was not supposed to be running the elections while also being elected.
Yeah,
If they don't do a recount,
recused herself.
if they don't do a recount or demand a recount, the same way Arizona had their Senate election between the two senators, I can't remember their names. Who gives a shit? It was so close, and it took them a week to even count the Senate, the U.S. Senate elections out of Arizona. It took them a week to count all of that.
I'm confused. Is it this which? So let me just so I can understand and follow, because I after election I turned everything off. So in Arizona, you're saying it was the Secretary of the Treasury
that got more votes than the
than the governors.
Than the governors, meaning that anybody with two functioning brain cells would have to ask the question, how the fuck did that happen?
So the Secretary of the Treasury,
yes,
got more votes than the gubernatorial candidates combined.
Yep.
No, not combined.
Not combined, but more.
Just
like
more
50,
than both
like
of them.
50,
More than either of them. If they don't demand a recount, I mean that you don't have to be a genius.
Is that even a seat that's up for election? Because I know oftentimes
it was in Arizona. Yeah,
the Secretary of the Treasury. Okay.
I got one.
Here it is.
Question. I got a question.
Here's the image. For
question. I got a question.
Okay.
Did anything change during this last big voting thing? Has anybody's life drastically changed?
No, it's not going to.
Is there still tyrants in office all over the place?
Yes.
Now they're just making it easier for them to stay in office.
I'm just checking. I'm just checking. So wait,
now it's just a different color.
Okay, wait. I got you.
True. Not just a different color.
Okay.
So
another side of the same nut one is what you're telling me, right? The wing
a
nut?
different wing of the bird.
Different wing of the nut.
Bird. The same bird.
Okay.
Yep.
So check one off for me again. I'm being right that you guys wasted a whole bunch of time and did absolutely nothing.
We knew this was going to happen.
Check the image I sent you. It shows you the actual numbers.
I'm not finding anything about the Secretary of the Treasury race in Arizona. It keeps pulling up Secretary of State
because they don't want you to find that.
Yeah.
All right. Look, zoom in and you'll see if that image is good enough. Okay. So you see the numbers. Okay. So look at the numbers.
Okay, 1.2 million, 1.2 million, 1.2 million. Attorney General, State Treasurer, 1.3 million.
Wait, what?
What happened there?
Republicans must be good with money. This bitch must know how to handle the money. But I will say, in regards to Arizona,
no, that's not reality. Let's be real. There's something fishy here.
I think just the fact that the
machines were failing.
The person who's in charge of running elections in
Getty Hobb. You mean the governor, the current elected governor of Arizona was running the election
from the duties of that office while
he didn't want to. She didn't want to.
That's a clear conflict of interest, but we know how this works.
We know that.
But Jim Bob, you asked the question, did anything change? I will say that now, and here in Texas, as of today, Abbott declared an invasion.
Yeah, what's that about?
That is going to be
so. What's the actions that he's going to take? Exactly.
Well, he's mobilized the entire. So Texas has like the National Guard that's supplied and funded by the United States.
You have your others,
and then we have the Texas State Guard, which is separate. It's not like like New York has a state National Guard. Florida has a state National Guard. Texas has a separate military wing called the Texas State Guard, which Abbott has full control over that military wing. So they have planes, helicopters, tanks. They got all kinds of shit. It's a volunteer force. I actually looked into joining it, but I thought it seemed really militia-y to me, but I don't know. Anyway, so he's mobilizing the National Guard, the Texas State Guard, and DPS, which is the Department of Public Safety. Basically everything in his power as the executive to basically lock down the border. Like he's got boats in the river. He's got and he's partnering with New Mexico, Arizona, and like Florida, other places that are having a problem. And Texas does have its own military forces. Yep.
Yeah, it's a whole article about it that I'll share with everybody out there.
It's crazy because I was stationed at Fort Bliss back in the early 2010s for a couple of years, and I could look out. I could step out the back door of my house and spit over the border wall into Mexico. It is like I used to sit out in my backyard and watch the cartel wars. Like you could watch the tracers. The tracer rounds in my backyard and hear the explosion.
Sponsored by the U.S. government.
Yeah, it's sponsored by. Yeah,
Obama.
it would have been Obama at the time.
Yeah, remember Operation Fast and Furious. Operation. That's not what you search for it. You write Operation Fast and Furious and do not use Google, and then you'll find the actual story. Because
Rounds actually came across the border one time and peppered UTEP, University of Texas El Paso, peppered UTEP's dormitory with like 30 some odd rounds from an AK. Somebody just fired across the border into UTEP's dormitory and hit like 30 some odd times. The border is
speaking of firing over borders, this just in.
What just happened now?
There's been a statement on an origin of something.
Yes.
When was this posted? What time?
It was just sent to me.
I was making a joke.
It was just sent to me.
I literally was making a joke. I was not expecting it to be real. That the missile is not really Russian. I mean,
no, I heard it wasn't. I've heard that it was not actually Russian. That even if it was Russian, Poland was very slow to say it was the Russians that fired.
I made the joke in the chat. Oh, look, it's because it says "Made in the USA."
Yes.
They won't. Everybody is calling this like the peak false flag. I mean, even Poland, even the defense
Poland doesn't want it. I guess Poland, we don't want to play this game.
Seriously. Poland already announced, their defense ministry already announced that they are like, we don't have any unequivocal evidence that this was Russian made. And it killed 2 people. It hit a grain silo and killed 2 people. And even Poland's like, we don't want this. It wasn't Russian. They're like, it wasn't Russian.
The thing is, it was fired at the same time as the Russians were firing towards.
Oh, they lit up. They lit up Ukraine, man.
But this is the thing. So it's fascinating. I don't know if it's related that they were joking. Oh, FTX turned off, so Ukraine's gonna have a peace talks automatically the next day. Peace talks. I mean, like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, it was a joke. People were joking. Why are jokes turning into real life? And stop doing this. Stop doing this. We're joking. It's like, it's pathetic. The script is looking now so open, like they're that corrupt. And the thing is, that kid is going to jail, not his parents. He's a very autistic kid that's broken.
He's not going to jail. He's not going to jail.
Fuck it. Bitch, don't you want to start making some real fucking money?
Sorry.
He's not going to jail.
When Luis was going off on his rant there, I was like, oh, I've got some sound clips for this.
Well, do it live. Fuck it.
He's not going to jail. He's going to end up in the trunk of a car, buried out in a field in South America or something. I mean, he knows too much. Even if he was a pawn.
But have you seen who his parents were? Who his girlfriend's parents were? Like, these people are like, they should be fired.
He heard and saw some stuff that he wasn't supposed to, even if he's just a pawn.
You've seen the interview where he's like this?
Yeah. He's not going to jail. He took too much money from too many powerful people, and they're all sitting around going, we need to hire somebody to find this kid right now.
Is this the kid we're talking about?
Oh.
That's the kid we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
That kid?
He took too much money. That kid, yeah. He took too much money from too many powerful people. But see, the thing is, what's not going to save that kid that from FTX? His dad's not his dad's not the president. That kid's...
He's not the president, but I will say that he did screw over a lot of people, right? And millions of people's deposits have been destroyed. So there was a guy called Nas Daily. I showed you a video from the chicken video the other day from Nas. And he did a promo for him 9 months ago. And then he posted today, like, that he's sorry that he did that. Like, one of his employees lost everything, like, to that piece of shit. So
yeah, I seem to recall
was a good scammer. I mean, he probably, the only thing he was good at is math, and that's it. Look, just watch. Look at the chair. Look at the chair. That kid is shaking like a maraca. He's probably also on amphetamines. So it was very prominent that they took a lot of amphetamines in the office, and they made jokes online about it.
I seem to recall a video it was an article that came up a while ago that showed like they found 3 or 4 bodies in a field cut up of people that were going to commit a crime. And the powerful people that found out, hey, these guys are going to come rob us or take some of our shit. We got to take care of this. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen to this kid, but I'm pretty sure that's what,
sure the justice system in the Bahamas, even though they paid off everybody, by the way, they paid off everyone.
You can pay off. If you take from the wrong people, it doesn't matter who you pay off. They will find you. You know what I mean? You can't run forever.
You get the CIA's highest honor, the Gary Webb Award.
Gary Webb. You get Gary Webb.
The thing is, this kid literally was funding the project for the CIA at this point.
So, and if he was, this CIA is going to tie up loose ends. They are really good at that, man. You take from the wrong people, even if he was a pawn, he saw and heard some stuff he wasn't supposed to.
He was more of a pawn because it doesn't, like, you hear him. He is not that smart. He's actually pretty, like, normal.
What do you think?
He just probably is good at math. But you
talk like a fag, and your shit's all retarded.
Okay, that answers my question.
Right?
Brought to you by Pfizer.
There we go.
That's a great one to keep.
You know, I gotta say, aside from the sound effects and stuff, like you truly do have like a radio voice, though. Like it.
What? No.
Yeah, dude. Like
you have a commercial voice.
You've got.
I'm a
You've done
trained
that.
actor, actually. Like I know, like a lot of people will be like, "Oh, he's a shill, he's an actor." No, I went to school for acting. Like that's what I got a degree.
Chill means you're actually getting paid for that.
And I'm not. Well, thank you though. I there's actually a new podcast coming out right now. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's like True Theater Radio. Like they're doing like radio plays based on like conspiracy stuff, which I think is awesome. And I hit them up if they ever need some talent, because yes, this is my natural voice, but I can turn it on, baby. There's techniques, there's exercises you can do to change your voice and stuff. And that's what I loved about acting, was doing all that kind of stuff. But sorry, I'm rambling. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. I hear other people and I'm like, oh, that's a radio voice. I don't quite. A lot of it comes from the microphone. A lot of it comes from the mixer and some stuff on the back end. But you do have to have a little bit of a presence, you know.
Absolutely. No,
I've never been afraid of public speaking or anything like that. Here's the thing, guys, and for anyone listening out there, your life can improve so much by just doing one thing: not giving a fuck what other people think about you. Like the day, I think I was like, because when I was in middle school, I was the first kid to get like acne, like bad acne. Like I was the acne kid, right? Not that I wasn't cool. I didn't have friends, I had plenty of friends and stuff like that, but I was that kid. And at a certain point, I want to say like when I got to high school, like 14 years old, I stopped giving a fuck what people thought about me. And life got a lot better, dude. Life got a lot better. But then I went to acting school in college, and literally the whole 4 years is like, give a shit what people think about you, because that's how you're going to make money and stuff. And that's when life went, you get real depressed and anxious because you're always worried about like, does this person like me? Am I going to get this role? And am I going to get this job and stuff? And it's like, fuck that, dude. I work backstage now and I have a great time. You know what I mean? It's fun. It's fun stuff. So yeah, just if anyone listening out there, if I can leave one word of advice, and I know we're not ending the show, but if you can take one thing out of this, don't give a fuck. Stop giving. That's why we're all here. That's why we're all doing this, because like we don't give a fuck. What do we have to lose? Okay, fire me from my job, whatever. I'll get another job. Okay, I've never not gotten a job that I got in an interview. You know, if I can get in front of somebody, you're gonna like me. But you might not like me, but you're gonna want me to work for you, right?
Right.
That's part of it, dude.
You know, clearly I don't care what people think about me. I'm the first. I'm the first person to make fun of myself. Bandit will back me up on that, because he knows that I'll be the first person to be like, "Hey, let's make fun of Jimmy because something dumb happened to me," you know. And the pirate moniker just fit, bro. One day I just put the pirate hat on, and I was just like, you know what? I can do this, and I'm gonna just keep doing this.
Putting a character on, dude, is a game. Is like that's one way of not giving a fuck, right? Because at a certain point, you're like, this isn't necessary. This is me, but it's a little bit of a not me, right? Like when
exaggerated.
Yeah, exactly. Like so, when I don't act much anymore, but when I get on stage or you put something on, right? Like you put on a bit of flair, like it's still you, but you're doing something else that kind of takes your mind.
But it can feel like an armor, because it gives you that facade that allows you to become
you can just go,
yourself.
oh, I was just acting, or oh, I was just pretending, or oh, I was just on a podcast, or oh, that's not. You know what I mean?
Did you guys ever see that Cracked when Cracked was decent? They made us a video that was like about the joking of Donald Trump running for president, but actually he was just joking. And it's like them taking the joke so far that he becomes president. And it's like the back drama of like, no, like I'm normal. That was all a character. Like the whole drama internally is like, no.
Well, if you think about it, Donald Trump really did run for president because of a joke at the White House press ball back when Obama was president.
He did try before, but that was really what pushed him over the
about
edge.
It before, but that's when he really was like, oh, okay.
No, evidently he did try once.
Oh, really?
Before.
Okay.
Yeah, but he was, I forgot he was running independent. But again, it's like if he didn't get enough attention, he just learned through time, especially with The Apprentice. He just really learned how to manipulate media. That's really it.
He was a pro con. He was
because before that
peak con man.
Two people in New York there's two sides to people here. Some people like him. Some people just say that's just a New Yorker being a fucking douchebag. Like they understand what character he's playing, because here developers are way worse than him. He is like a tame developer in the scale of developers, but people have this idea that he's like the scum of the earth. I'm like, if you don't know what the scum of the earth look like, they don't speak. You never hear their voices, because the true criminals hide behind 100 lawyers. Those are the real criminals.
Yes.
You'll never know their names, dude. You'll never know their names.
That's the whole point.
It's just like that's why actors make stage names. Like Tom Cruise's name is like some fucked up. It's like 10 different names with like the third on the end or something. It's it's ridiculous. It's because they can hide behind Tom Cruise.
Fake name. Yeah.
Them as the actor is an act, right?
This actually gets into one of my favorite, like my all-time favorite conspiracies of all time that I'm always bringing up. Which
you ever notice why babies have the actors and actresses' babies have weird fucking names? Is because that's not their real names. They will never give out.
I appreciate that, because that made a lot of sense when they said that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, no, but this gets in.
I don't want you to know their real name, you asshole. Fuck off. It's their kid. Go fuck off.
This gets into my actor-based reality stuff, where you got all these different people playing different roles, because there's so many possible ways to do this between prosthetics and, you know, film manipulation and all kinds of things like that. And like
Joe Biden.
Oh, dude. Me and Luis talk about this extensively, and we have matched the ears, and there's definitely two different Joe Bidens.
So
there's a lot of different. I mean, there was red tie, blue tie, Donald Trump.
Joe Biden works 2 days a week, the actual Joe Biden, and then his other earlobe twin. Okay. Have y'all heard the theory that Joe Biden has a twin brother?
Nah, that wouldn't make sense. Everybody would know by now.
No, not his. What's the
Bo?
What's that?
Real Joe Biden is dead.
They say that Bo is like Joe Biden's twin brother, but again,
the actor that is playing Joe Biden.
We've discussed about.
I don't believe in that theory. It's people. It's easier. Body doubles exist. That is 100%. It's not a theory. Body doubles are a real thing. Every president has had body doubles. If you don't know about that, that is just a thing that happens.
Sure.
They hire actors that literally play them in various high stress situations. They actively are using them. When it comes to the president's motorcade, there are all cases where there might be a body double inside of the motorcade just to distract the shooter. When you're in a parade, you might see him. You're probably not seeing the president. You're seeing a body double. I remember when George W. Bush was running for office, like when he got elected and he was doing the parade, he was wearing a level 5 body armor. Like, you watch the footage, the man was wearing armor like to here. Inside of the suit, you can tell it was level 5 buttons. That was like him. But
the movie The Dictator with oh my god, who played Ali G? Sacha Baron Cohen, but he did The Dictator. They killed his body double in the movie. He's like, they thought it was like the assassin like killed him. You really thought that that's what happened, and then you see the real dictator standing over the body double, and they're like, yeah,
but
need a new body double.
But they're clearly putting the body double or even CGI face over on the TV. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because because the person's gone. I mean,
Did we see that clip? Did we see that clip where Joe Biden didn't blink for like 20 seconds during his speech?
It was almost 30 seconds. It's probably, again, it's
terrible.
It's amphetamine abuse or bad CGI.
That was bad CGI, because I think a day or two after that, they had when he did his speech or his press conference speech, they had him outside wearing sunglasses so you couldn't see his eyes. Because of the response to that video online, they saw that and were like, hey, we got to change it up. Move him outside, put sunglasses on him so you can't see his eyes.
Amphetamines will likely have some sort of similar reaction, but it's very clear by now that there's an amphetamine abuse issue. I mean, son, it's genetic.
Yeah.
Listen,
I think
and
it's
my
been for a
and
He's getting it injected for sure. though.
listen,
He's
listen.
not
I've
smoking.
known. Listen, I've worked in some places, and like
You've seen people with amphetamine abuse.
not even just that. I was just gonna talk about old
Seen
people.
things.
I've seen some old people things where there's people that are completely gone at that age, younger and older in some cases, and it's. I kind of view the Biden thing like I like making fun of him. Don't get me wrong, but like I kind
It's
of
because
I
he
kind of
shouldn't
view
be
it.
there.
I kind of view it as I kind of view it as sad almost because I think the poor dude is literally gone. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
not
Like,
elder abuse because of the power he has.
sure, but I guess that's just the part of me
You
that's
can literally
still like,
go tell somebody go kill that person.
yeah, but like
They'll be like, wait, what?
know.
I'm like, yeah, go kill them, and then you'll have to follow his orders.
let him go back to the nursing home in Florida instead of parading him around on the stage where he's lost and trying to shake hands with the air. Like
He's
there we go.
79. He's 79. I mean, like Fauci's 82, 83. How old is Fauci?
He took better care of himself, probably. Come on,
I know Fauci runs every day.
Just saying.
Well, let's talk about Joe. So what? Joe Biden's 79 will be 81 when he's out of by the next election.
So Fauci's 81.
No.
And then Donald Trump age.
Kyle's saying that when he gets out, he'll be 81.
I'm not out because he might win the next election, but I'm saying
Donald Trump's 76.
So Donald Trump, that means in 2024 he'll be 78. So that means he'll be 80 if he wins. He'll be Biden's age now when he's running again.
And DeSantis will be 44.
I think, but here's the thing. I think if Donald Trump is going to run again, DeSantis should not. I think he should take a step back because he's 40.
DeSantis should run for vice president, and that's how the hell he wins. He will be in office.
Wait a minute.
For 12 years.
How old is DeSantis?
44.
Right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
44. I just checked it.
Jesus, he's 2.5 years. He's 2 years and some change older than me.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
What am I doing with my life, man? I could be.
Let's change your life, Bandit.
I'm retired, man. I'm not doing this. I'm already retired.
So was he.
I'm already retired.
Let's have you run for office in Kentucky. Let's change your life.
A retiree can run. Okay, and a retiree can run for office.
You should run for a small office. Get a good salary. That's $80,000 in the pocket,
dude. Or you got kids, right? Are they in school?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm dead serious. You should run for local office.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely. Like I've been thinking about.
You would be great. I'm being dead serious. You would be great.
I've always said that when I turned 25, which I'm 26 now, that I would run for Congress. And I haven't done that yet, unfortunately.
Oh, what state are you in? What city and state?
I'm in Texas. I'm in West Texas.
What was I doing?
I was thinking about running for. So when I turn 35, I'll run for president every election. I'll just throw my name in there, get 5,000 signatures, easy enough, and just do. Why not? Fuck it. You're muted.
Like Vermin Supreme.
You got to win on a write-in, bro. You got to win on a write-in.
Yeah,
win on a.
How does Bandit win? Oh, it's literally Bandit. The candidate is Bandit. Oh, cool. Your candidate name is Bandit.
Just a Bandit.
You can run. Hey, Bandit, you can run with Lyman. You can be his lieutenant governor.
I can run with Lyman in Montana. I mean,
it's never too late, brother. I'm just saying.
I mean, didn't Oz?
Wait.
Didn't Oz is a New Jersey resident, but he ran in Pennsylvania, right? Because he has a house in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. But let me tell you something interesting.
And if I had on a piece of land,
you can buy a property in Montana. But let me tell you something interesting. So, in many roles, you get permanent salary. So let me explain. If you run for Congress and you are elected to be a member of Congress, which is a very short time, you get a permanent salary for the rest of your life.
Are you serious? We're still
$1,000 a year for winning once.
So we're still paying players who lost decades ago. We're still paying them.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a pension for the rest of their life. It's just like
it happens for governors, it happens for senators, it happens this is the reason you get elected for Congress. All you have to do is get elected, sit on your ass, literally put your hands under your ass, say, okay, and then not get elected, and that's it.
Who was the woman that
didn't fuck up anybody? You didn't support the corruption. You just sat on your hands.
Who was the woman that stepped in for Bojo in the UK as prime minister?
She got a permanent. She gets $146,000, £46,000 for the rest of her life.
She was only there. She could only be there as soon as she hit that 3. Yeah, and she gets that for the rest of her life.
30 days. She only needed to be there 30 days, and she was there.
That's
it's crazy, man. I think that fuck. What was I even gonna say? If you fuck it, I lost it. Yeah. Good point.
Bandit, run for office.
Yeah. You end up with a couple of retirements, man.
I mean, it's the best retirement.
Okay.
You give your kids everything you could ever imagine,
and if you're really good at
your community.
If you're really good at it, you can make hundreds of millions of dollars on that.
Don't be Pelosi. That Jim Bob will actually haunt you in your dreams.
That's the thing. It's like they get elected, like people that are totally believe in the system. People that believe in the system are so blinded by they can't even see past worshiping these party people. They can't see past that to look at the actual corruption that is taking place with these people. I mean, they go in there for just a couple of years and they come out millionaires on a low 6-figure salary. They come out millionaires, and even if you don't win, I like to take the grifter Charles Booker here in Kentucky, who ran against Rand Paul thinking he was going to win. This guy grifted millions of dollars from poor Eastern Kentuckians to put towards his campaign, and only spent a quarter of it and walked away with millions of dollars. And he didn't even get into office.
Yep. That money just goes. I mean, there's ways to funnel that money. There's ways to bring it around. You can. A great example was, I don't know if y'all watch Yellowstone or not. There was
I do.
I haven't. Right. And I
haven't watched the new season.
Oh, okay. So he become. I'm not spoiling anything. You know what's going to happen. He becomes governor, right? But then he hosts. They host a party, right? Like a congratulatory party. But the campaign rents his ranch to host the party, so he makes $100 million in one night just by
Trump was doing that stupidly. So the stupidest administration did was he did a lot of whenever certain people came into DC. So he owned the hotel. Okay, so if you're in the White House and you look out, the closest hotel of line of sight, because I stayed in that hotel, is literally in front of you, is owned by Trump. So he bought that hotel before he became president. So he was putting them there. Now, the irony that he is literally the closest hotel to the White House was a special point. But that was a stupid mistake. And Trump did many, many things. And while they focused on Russia Gate, which was a non-existent thing, they could have just focused on the real issues. But no, they decided to not focus on real problems.
They never do focus on real problems. Man, when was last time politics in DC focused on a real problem? And
hey, no, don't say that, because they did end daylight savings.
When? Okay, it still happens.
No.
State by state.
No. They ended it
after this year is over.
After this last one, like last week when it changed,
on a federal level. Oh my God!
Finally,
ever again.
Stupidity is gone.
They did.
That is amazing.
Time that everyone was like you remember the memes. You can, if you remember, really, this is what you guys did. This is what you did with all the with all our tax funding. But now it takes effect this year, so it's done now. So they do some things, but it's at a weird time.
Yes,
right?
but I believe, but if I'm not mistaken, from what I've gathered, is we're going to go forward again, but then never come back.
I heard it was done after this, but we'll see.
He might be right. Kyle might be right. I think that I hope so.
You know, my boss always says at work, same amount of daylight. Like, no matter what,
I mean, in Texas, it doesn't make any, like any southern state, it doesn't.
Here's my thoughts on it.
Yes, I agree. All right.
Like, there you go.
I think come springtime after this fall, I think that's going up the flagpole in the front yard. I think so. It's time to
I want to put this on the front porch, but I'm afraid somebody will steal it like they stole Spider-Man.
I think it's time
if you put it high enough, they won't.
I think it's time to hoist the black.
You got to get a 40-foot pole, bro.
You got to get like
that's what I got. I got a 30-foot pole in the front yard, I think.
Wait, you have one?
25, 30.
Of course I have my pirate flag.
I got to get a pirate flag. I had one before with my friends and they.
Or just fly the anarchy flag.
Wait, but you're not. I mean, how much anarchy are you? Like, what's your level of anarchy?
I mean, you're either an anarchist or minarchist, you might as well not even be. I mean, this could be in a whole episode. This could be a whole episode.
Yeah, I remember we were speaking about like the different types of like when it comes to the governance framework, because regardless of the concept of like, oh, anarchy, no, it doesn't mean you can do whatever the fuck you want. There's still
there are rules to follow. There'll be rules.
That's what I mean.
There isn't going to be laws.
But there's different types of frameworks for that. So in anarchy, yes, you have a lot more freedom.
I would try to
rules, not rulers. Correct.
For somebody not familiar with the different levels of whatever you would consider yourself an anarchist or whatever, you know, the rules involved inside anarchism. I would equate it to, for somebody not familiar with it, I would equate it to volunteerism.
Right. And I'm the same way. And so I work at a liberal arts college. I mean, the college isn't liberal arts, but the department I'm in is liberal arts. Right. And all my students, like, we get along and everything, but, you know, they all think I'm like Republican, like a Trump Republican and everything. And finally this year I started telling them, because they like make faces at me when I say something, and I finally just started saying it, guys, I'm not a fucking Republican. I'm an anarchist. And they all are like, they just assume that's worse. And I'm like, chaos. And I'm like, no. Anarchy is the opposite of chaos. It's literally because they're
confusing it with Antifa.
It is a stigma put on people by the media because they don't want people to research the real reason of the real reasoning behind anarchism.
Like the 90s, early 2000s with like anarchy.
Yes, exactly.
Like right. So, but I'm like, no, it's basically like if you and I wanted to do business or commerce, we would both agree to do that. And I like what Luis said, like, or I don't remember who said it, but you have more freedom under an anarchist system, but you also have more consequences, right? There are more consequences for your action, because it's not like if you fucking jack somebody's car that they're going to call the cops and, like, you know, there'll be a pursuit.
No, we'll take your car.
You'll just
take your stuff.
You'll just get shot, right?
We'll kill you.
That's the thing. There are more consequences. You have the freedom to steal someone's car, but you also have to deal with those consequences.
This is the thing. The idea that, first of all, bad people on a genetic level, it's real. So if you're bad, statistically, your kids are going to be bad or have a tendency to be bad. So because we have let such a high amount of populational growth, there's then a higher tendency for those bad people to come up and exist in this world, even though they still kill each other at a very high rate.
We reached 8 billion people today.
We reached around 8 billion, but exactly, this is the tricky part, is that there is population collapse happening right now. The demographic collapse in China is so massive. I'll give you an interesting example. Every year, about 20 million highly educated kids, like, you know, graduate from college. 20 million. There's only 3 million jobs for those 20 million people every single year. So, and not only that, but because of China's crackdown on absolutely everything, including the tech sector, which was the only thing really keeping that country alive. Because they have destroyed and utterly destroyed everything in relationship to the tech sector in China. The private education sector in China was massive. They just wiped like $70 billion worth of value when they closed all private schools in China, because private schools in China used to teach, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. She used to teach things that are not accepted by the CCP. And look at the collapse that's happening. People are telling you constantly, don't have kids. I'm like, what are you talking about? Have as many kids as you can. Like, especially if you're a kind, caring human being that actually wants to care about their kids, please have kids.
Well, I like what you said too about all these kids graduating college and not enough college qualifying jobs. Because I'm sure you all experience this right now. You go to your local McDonald's, the lines around the fucking door because they got 2 people working in the building. So, but
here it's packed now though, because McDonald's here pays like 19 an hour or 20 an hour.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, yes, they're doing that here too, but no one wants to work there because they're like, oh, I have a college degree. Why would I go do that? Meanwhile, I have a college degree. I'm getting paid $22 an hour for the job I have now. But I also this job I am about to take, I don't even meet the preferred qualifications in the job description.
Those job descriptions are bullshit. That's the number one thing in school. Number one rule when like the first class that you're in senior year in high school. One of the first things, like, what it says? Yeah, bullshit. And just the teachers just go part by part. Bullshit. I remember seeing one resume have 5 years experience in a sector that was only 3 years old. But 5 years experience.
Yeah,
it's only been around for 3 years. What the fuck?
Right. So I applied and I was like, are you, like, when I got the job, I was like, are you guys sure? Like, are you sure? Like, how many people did no one else apply? Like, it's just and that's why I'm saying, like, experience, character, personality, things like that go a long way, because you can get into a situation where someone might be super qualified for something because of their degrees or whatever, but they've never actually been in the world or know how things work or how to talk to people. And if you can, most people want to hire somebody that they would enjoy working.
Confidence.
Like if let's say Luis or Jim Bob or Bandit, if I wanted to go into business and I wanted to hire you guys, like, I would hire you over someone else because I enjoy you as a person. Like, would you make my day a living hell? No.
No, man.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can teach anybody anything, right? That's a part. I think that's missing from a lot of jobs right now, is like, they don't say willing to train the right person. I think if a job description has like willing to train the right person, because you can learn anything, whether you have experience in it or not, dude. If you got a good head on your shoulders, you can figure some shit out.
So believe it or not, I still believe there are still even businesses ran out there like that, and I'm not just going to talk them up because I know that they've been listening to this in the office, but our company is like real small, and there's probably like 12 people in the entire company. And my boss runs it the same way that his father ran it when it was running in the 80s and such. And like, it's exactly that. If you come in there with the I'm willing to work attitude, he will take anybody off the street and put them to work doing appliances. I've got years of experience under my belt because I did it for major companies in Atlanta for years, but then I just stumbled back into it with this guy, and it's something to see somebody that still kind of runs things as just like a small town, you can trust each other kind of business, and everybody in there's pretty much family. Right. You know what I mean?
Well, nowadays that kind of way of running things is considered toxic or unequitable. Right. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, you're potentially giving some poor, white kid, or who, it doesn't even have to be white. I didn't even bring that into it. But I'm saying, like, some poor kid who just wants to work and prove
meritocracy is dead.
Dude, exactly. We need to bring that back, man. It's like, it sucks.
But meritocracy is what built. Okay, so as an experiment, right? As the United States, as a gigantic social experiment of the super rich class that decided to create this country a few hundred years ago, it's been very successful. It's been very successful because it's the empire. It's the most powerful connected empire. What is his main problems? Well, it's exploiting its population for medical reasons through the insurance companies. We have an incarceration system that is enslaving part of the population in order to create some form of control. And it also lowers the wages below the current correct capacity, like paying. It should be around $30 an hour, but it's not. So you impoverish the population to control it, or you indoctrinate the population, or you enslave the population with debt of any kind. Look at the medical community.
Do all three.
I agree.
Medical community. Why do you think doctors could not speak about COVID? It's because they had so much debt. They would get fired from the hospital they work at. They would get fired from the network.
Pansies.
So if they spoke against the regulations, when I was at the doctor today, she was like, "Don't even talk to me about that." She's been so pissed. She literally said to me, we are not allowed to be doctors. Anything related to COVID, we have to follow whatever the corporations say. We are not allowed to doctor. We are not allowed to have an opinion.
Luis, I agree with you 100%, man. Like, I think it's good to have a balance of kind of that social justice. And I don't mean that in a negative way, that social justice.
There's positive social justice.
Absolutely. Because like 5-6 years ago, I was a Bernie bro. I was like, yes, there is a problem with these corporations, all this stuff. Like, and I 100%.
Bernie would have won, but Hillary stole the elections in New York, and Wisconsin, and other states.
And then he cucked out. Yeah, exactly. I think
he probably was threatened, and he was like, "I'm too old for shit."
Yeah, he probably got a kneecap or a black eye or something like that. But I'm just saying there is, America does have its flaws. It is extreme. It could, for how powerful and rich we are. This is fixable. So like Bernie said once, we could destroy the insurance companies tomorrow. What would happen? 2 million jobs would disappear. There is a $2 million would disappear.
2 million jobs would disappear.
Oh, jobs. Okay.
So 2 million high paying jobs would disappear. But the counter effect of it would be drastic and would be so positive to the economy. Look, I myself am starting something complex, and I want to give my employees the best possible medical options available. It's extremely expensive.
Yep.
If you're a high quality employer, you want to give your employees the best quality healthcare. It's like $2,000 a month, like just for the fucking healthcare, like.
That they may never use.
About this shit.
That they may never use. I haven't gone to the doctor in a year and a half. And
this is particularly for because I remember I had a few people that I mentioned, like if you offer, because they have medical problems, so that's why it's going to be expensive. They will use it. Some of them will use it, but that's the thing. Is like I remember, like how do you compete with companies like Microsoft? It's like, for example, if I want to hire somebody, Microsoft offers the best fucking medical plan you can imagine. Like these mega corporations, the only thing that they have is they have really decent perks, like healthcare. That's like the best healthcare you can.
Free gym memberships, vacation plans, all that. Dude, the perks do make a job. I'm going to be honest. Perks make a job big time.
But
perks
they found interesting that Google actually uses those perks to keep you inside of the office.
You know,
they do it all in-house. They do it all in-house.
They keep you in the office.
Is in the office. The food is in the office. The wine, as we saw on Twitter, is in the office, right?
The weed gummies in Twitter is in the office.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And I can see like, yes, but also the opposite side of that is like, you could do all that at home and do your job from home if you're able to, you know? If you can do your job from home, I think you should be able to, but there is something about it.
There are certain jobs that you cannot do at home.
I know. I can't do my job from home. There's no way. There's no way I could do my job from home because I have to be there to do the shit.
And Jim Bob, could you do your job from home? Can you control the robot from your?
No, I'm not. I am not being a robot polisher. Like that's not.
No, you're controlling.
Not an option.
Control the robot.
Hey, Jim Bob, one day you'll polish the robots. Don't give me.
No, bro.
And cops don't want to do their job from home because they'd have to shoot their own dogs, man.
Dude, I was just talking to students about this today. I've been telling all my students, when you turn 21, buy a handgun. Like, I just tell them that. And they're like, a lot of them are like, yeah, I plan to. I want to. And I don't know where cops got brought into it or something. And basically, I was like, yeah, just don't ever call the cops to your own house because the first thing they'll do is shoot your dog.
Yeah.
Yes.
But seriously though, if
I back this message, like,
yeah, you can look it up online, and it's a disturbing number. It really is. Like, I tell people to look that up. They like joke around about it, but I'm like, seriously.
How many times have that happened? I know it's happened. Like, I've seen way too many times.
Dude, I've got
how many daily? How much it happens daily? Look that up. That is a disturbing number.
He's got like the sweetest little dog. She's like
cops kill 25 dogs a day.
Oh my God, 25 in the country? Just in the country?
Yes, just in the U.S.
Okay. Now I have
and
to
you know
ask,
they don't even get written up for it.
what's the number one state? Now I have to know. What's the state with the most dog killings? Like, what the fuck? 25 a day is a huge number. Now, how many? What's the state? It has to be some state that's
Control F state. Oh, go back up. I saw Texas and Ohio. Go back
really?
down.
Oh no, it's gonna be Texas. I bet. Oh my God, if it's Ohio, that's just a
Largest Texas to Ohio to Colorado. It's looks like it's spread out.
In municipalities, largest small, Texas to
Control
Ohio to Colorado.
F and type in state and see what happens.
Well, they just write the name. Yeah, but Control F is the best tool. No.
Interesting. Yeah, dude. I bet. I don't know. That's fucked up, dude. I think if you're a cop and you can't handle a fucking dog just yipping at you, you shouldn't be a cop.
And see,
I've been a delivery man my entire life, and I can handle dogs.
See, that's exactly it. That's my retort to that. Is like, where are the amount of FedEx, UPS, and mailmen that get bit each day?
Wait,
compared
do you guys remember when post people were going postal? Remember that trend?
The good old days.
Yes.
Going postal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was that about? What time period was that exactly?
It was in the 90s. Yeah. It was in the 90s, late 90s.
Isn't that an interesting trend that this
Now it's called just going to school.
Right. High school. Yep.
Bandit, you're on a roll here today.
Dan, I know, right? What's up, man?
Bandit, there are dedicated Instagram pages of UPS workers, FedEx guys who they're like the dog delivery man or whatever. And their whole Instagram pages, it's like so wholesome. They'll just go to all these houses
and give dog treats. They give dog treats, man.
Yeah, the dogs are like their best friends. Like,
yeah.
Did you guys ever
Yeah.
watch that TV show on Discovery? That's one of the best random shows I found, was about how to rob a place.
What? No.
I'm sorry, what?
So it was a TV show about like professional thieves explaining how they would rob a place. So
Okay, I
every
need to look this
episode,
up. I'm gonna go look
every
this up.
episode,
I
they
vaguely
would
remember it.
select a different house, and then they would say, "Hey, someday in the next 2 weeks, we're gonna rob you. We're not gonna tell you. We're just gonna rob you."
I remember that, dude. I remember that vaguely.
It was a reality show based off, but basically you didn't know when they would rob you, and then after they robbed you, they would just go over what the fuck they did.
Oh man, I'm gonna go look that up.
It's like
It's a good show because you learn all of the ways that they can enter your place. So, because it's a really good educational show, because you learn, okay, don't do this, 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 don't do this. And for thieves, the easiest thing is bring like salami, like bring meats for the dogs, and like straight up, you see a dog, give them food.
Yeah,
They'll become peaceful like that.
I gave my kids a lecture today because, I give them, whenever like a weird, like useless bit of knowledge comes up, I will educate my kids on like something. And today it was, why were hush puppies called hush puppies?
Why were hush puppies called hush puppies?
Runaway slaves would use just fried balls of cornmeal to make dogs be quiet that were chasing them while they were getting away. They were called hush puppies.
Oh shit. Long John Silver's has some explaining to do.
Oh wait, did you see that? Did you see the Chappelle Show SNL? The recent. By the way, watch the monologue.
They were boycotting them. Well, boycotting
No,
them.
no,
weren't
that
they,
was all
from
bullshit.
SNL?
No, that was all bullshit.
Oh, okay, all right.
Watch the monologue, but the show itself is amazing. I just watched a few
It was
clips.
one of the better SNLs in a long time.
Yes.
They brought back
They allowed him to basically do whatever the fuck he wanted. He did a skit.
He brought back.
It has been a long time since SNL's been good. So
because he was allowed to do whatever the fuck he wanted.
Well,
nice. All right.
Did you hear that he gave them in the rehearsals? He did a fake monologue, and then when they went live, he dropped that one.
Oh, that's genius. That's genius.
Weren't going to let him do it. So
of course they were not. He literally said at the end, "Whoever they are."
Yeah, dude.
He just like a little kid.
If anybody knows what Kanye the fuck Kanye is talking about, it's Dave Chappelle, because he went through this 20 years ago with the same people. I guarantee it.
Yes, that's why he said whoever they are, because they have no control over him.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I need to watch.
I work with these people, and first of all, they're all proud of it. They're all proud of it. Like,
yes, they are.
It's not something.
Watch
it's not
Ari
something
Shaffir's
they're
stand-up special. He explains it all.
He says it at the beginning. It's like, oh yeah, he just stole my lines. He basically was like, oh, you stole that. We run Hollywood. I'm like, yeah, we all know. Like, this is the thing. It's not. It's just. It's power. I mean, they're proud of it, and it's okay. Yeah. Like, that's real. That's just how reality is. But when they're spoken about publicly, they call it anti-Semitism when it's not. How is it anti-Semitism? I do love when he says, when it's a group of black men, they're a gang. When it's a group of Italians, they're a mafia. When it's a group of Jews, it's a coincidence.
Yeah.
Hey, Luis,
that's a classic for the rest of my life.
Actually, I'm glad you were going down this route, because do you remember, I don't know, a month or so ago?
For me, when it's a group of Puerto Ricans, we're just like,
I'm saying, do you remember a month or so
You're just trying to get into the United States.
Well, you remember a month or so ago when we were discussing with our buddy Michael, and I was making videos about it because I was researching about that one weird, interesting group of people called Frankists,
which are not
Jews. that hid themselves in the Jewish community as Jews, but are not Jews, and were doing some super evil shit.
What? Hold on. What? Say that again.
All
right. So check this out, Kyle.
Just start going over the Frankists.
I'll go out. All right. So I'm going to give you just a quick rundown of who the Frankists are, because it is kind of big. I've done some videos about it, and I can send you some links and some more information to dig into this. But we've had a show friend that's been like, he continues to research just like me, and we've been doing it for a really, really, really long time. And we've ran into this area that starts in Spain. When Spain started banning Jews in like the 1500s, and it carries over into the Turkey area during the time of the Ottoman Empire and what they call Messiahdom, when there was a bunch of different Jewish messiahs that appeared. Well, through this one group that started called the Sabbatians, they evolved throughout time and became the Sabbatian Frankists. And the thing is that they practiced other religions, whether it be Catholic, Islamic, Christianity, Baptist, because they came to America. But on the inside, they were practicing mystic Judaism. And
like the Kabbalah and things like that.
Like the Kabbalah and things like that. And they have always held prominent places in history or jobs in politics or in finance or in acting and such,
or have private islands off the coast
since like the 1500s, since they first got banished, when, like I said, to begin with, in Spain.
They invite people to their islands and they fly them in the Lolita Express into their island.
They do things like that, you know, but one of the things is they practice laws of inversion. And so because they are parading around and pretending to be outwardly one thing, if you try to attack them for the mysticism that they're doing, you're anti-Semitic, because you're attacking that community, even though you're not. You're attacking what's considered.
That's kind of where like the whole Khazarian versus Jews argument comes in, things like that. Like it's they use Judaism to cover for what they're actually doing.
It's the same thing. Yeah, bro. It's these Frankists, like, this is a real part in history, and they quit using the name Frankist and actually evolved into Jesuits.
I oddly recall the Frankists being from my Western civilization's history classes, them being a group in France, if I recall correctly, where they started in France and then they they formed the Jesuit
So,
order of Jesus
but they-
Christ.
Also, the
But
Frankfurt
they come
school.
okay. No. All right. So they are
That's
the ones
related
who
to the Frankists.
they are the ones who started that. They are the ones who came to France and started the Jesuit thing. And they were you get a lot of things get lost because people forget that the Ottoman Empire just fell like in our past century.
The Ottoman Empire
Like-
fell in World War One.
Yeah, and there's a lot of history there that is kind of interesting that went on during the Ottoman Empire, and it crosses with that. And with those Frankists that started the Jesuits in France can be traced all the way back to the mystic Jews that they banished from Spain when the Catholic Church started banning Judaism. And they evolved into different things. Like I said, the Sabbatians, and then they evolved into the Frankists. And I did a whole a little thing on it. I've got tons and tons of notes on it because it was something I really got into. And
Dude, you should do it. You need to do a whole show on this.
And
You haven't already.
we've
haven't-
totally done a couple. I will link that show with
it's like
the-
6 hours worth of
It's-
footage between two.
Yeah, because it was 2 episodes, and it was like 6 hours of digging into
Jeez.
the teeth of this. Because, like I said, my good buddy over there, he's on TikTok is with Widow's Mojo. He's a tattoo artist, and happens.
We haven't had him on a while.
We haven't had him in
have
a
we?
while. Well, I'll get him back, but he
has all the books. He has
all the
like
books.
a collections of like $50,000 worth of books.
and like
This man- what book
and
does
he turned me on
does
the
lives,
stuff, and I started
just
reading
reads.
things. Yeah,
That's what he does in his lives. He just reads from these books that are written mainly in Hebrew.
Yep.
So he's usually like taking the text and trying to give like a translation and explanation. So that's what he does in his lives.
Interesting.
Discord. So he like works to explain and demystify and like
Well,
help
that's-
people
That's
understand.
another interesting fact about Judaism is that
Their language is amazing. Like
Well,
it's incredible.
the reason
Mathematical.
their traditions and their beliefs have stayed so consistent over the millennia is because in order to read the Torah out loud, you have to have more than one rabbi present because at some point they must have known at some point some motherfucker is going to start spinning these words to benefit themselves. So if we have accountability with other people reading it, then the truth kind of stays consistent throughout, or or whatever, the text stays consistent throughout time. So, and even when they did translations, when they rewrote, when they did copies, there was always multiple.
You're not reading
people
ancient
present.
Hebrew when you're reading the current Torah, but yeah.
Right,
No,
but I'm just
listen,
saying when
okay,
they would read,
it's a mixture of ancient Hebrew and ancient Spanish, as well as Islamic tied into it from when they became the Sabbatians.
And the thing is,
and they mixed it all together, and it's this mysticism part. It's this Kabbalah.
Arabic and Spanish are tied together because the Moors, which was that we can go over the Moors in another time because the Moors.
We already went over. Did we?
I just want
We've
you to
done-
know.
Oh my God, that's the whole thing.
I just want you to know that it's happening again, though. By the way,
What?
there has been this whole Messiah thing going on.
Jewish Messiah appears in Israel. Oh my God, it's happening again. Okay.
Happening again.
Okay, so if you didn't know, according to the Hasids, the Messiah already came and went.
Yep.
And he lived here in Brooklyn, New York. The Messiah.
Heard that.
Yeah, I
We are
can't,
living
sorry,
the
I can't remember
tribulation.
the.
I know.
Now then.
I know his
I
name,
can't
but it's
remember
not
the
off
name of the
tip my tongue.
person.
Yeah.
Yes, he died a while back, but according to the so the Hasidic community, which I work with people in the Hasidic community, very tight knit community. They have like everybody is promoted to have children. They have like my the person I work with has 7 children. Another person also has 6 kids. I mean, very prolific, very good. And what's crazy is like they try to keep the inner community, but what's sad is the moment you want to leave, I guess they just kick you out, and they don't. Then not everybody can like connect as well anymore.
Drew Ali.
Some break the rules here and there, of course, because in the sense of connecting, it's like, yeah, I will still talk to you, but they kick you out of the collective. Yeah, this is the more related to the Moors. So the Islamic control of Spain made it so Spanish is like 30% Arabic.
mm-hmm.
I would say it's close to 30% of like the language is heavily Arabic based. So almost all the words with A is Arabic based words. So you will, if you're hearing, I hear Arabic, you're like, wait, that's clothing, that's word. Like all these words are all almost identical. It's so this whole historical thing and the history of us, we barely understand our own history. And this was a few hundred years ago. The further back we go, the crazier it gets. And we were talking about the show the other day, Apocalypse. It's on Netflix. It's from Graham Hancock. I've been watching it.
I gotta watch that.
Watch it. It's so good. It starts off with a civilization that existed 20,000 years ago in Indonesia. 20,000 years ago.
Dude, I think as
We
Graham
don't know
Hancock said
anything. We don't know
in that Rogan
anything.
episode, stuff just keeps getting older, dude. I think we're gonna see a big shit. Oh, and we were talking about technology earlier, and like you, Luis, you asked the question, what's the replacement for all this stuff with the Just Stop Oil and stuff? On that interview with Randall Carlson, and
Yeah, he said he wanted to talk about it, but he couldn't until the patents were done.
yeah, so he said in a couple months, like in January, he's going to come back, and he said we've got some things in the works in this technology. I think, in my opinion, I think this technology's been around for a while, but it has been suppressed. So I think it's smart for whoever these guys are to do their work in secret, get their patents filed, get all their ducks in a row, and then open source.
And that's why I even told Julian, who's been here now twice. I don't know if you saw that episode, Julian. You should watch, like learn about microparalysis. Where I tell him as well, get everything set for yourself. And
Is that the guy? I just followed him on Instagram today. Actually, I think Jim
Yes.
posted something from him, and I followed him. Yeah, interesting stuff. There's also another guy on TikTok.
He's 19.
Yeah,
He's
dude.
19 years old.
Self-taught, 19 years old. He's a super genius,
Jim,
man.
You're on TikTok. You probably know this guy. He's I don't want to say black.
Dr.
he's like a
Parkenstein.
light-skinned guy,
Alright,
Yes.
where you're going.
curly hair. He's
Oh,
like,
That's Dr. Parkenstein.
So he just was in a science conference talking about his work. So this guy's legit. That
he
kid
does all that
also.
shit in his back, all his shit in his backyard with like the tech. Hey,
Tesla
guys,
coil in his backyard.
I'm gonna
And he's,
put a Tesla coil in my backyard today, and we're gonna.
and
He's
see,
got the sweetest,
Oh, that was the
kindest
spot.
voice.
Dude,
That was
he
the
had-
best
like-
voice over you.
yeah, he had
Bravo, good sir.
he had a transformer from a fucking telephone pole
that he
in his
His-
backyard hooked
His
up for his
backyard
Tesla.
is looking like
Everything is
Tesla's
like
house.
bolted and chicken wired together.
I live
It's
in the South.
wild.
You have no idea how many backyards look like that, but it's just random shit.
It's not organized. He's
people are
very
just
organized.
Passing by him like, oh, just some guy with doing shit in his backyard. But a lot of yards looks like that. Kudos to that guy. I got another voice for you, Jim Bob. If you ever watch the Iwaranon YouTube videos, like the 8-hour flat Earth documentaries and stuff, he's like, it's this guy who goes, look at this. Now I know what you're thinking. We're not gonna make it, but just stick with me, and we'll get through it together.
I mean, what? Okay, what can you talk about for 8 hours about flat Earth?
Oh,
Come
dude, no.
on.
This guy
Give
is
me that. This
Dr.
kid.
Parkinson. Yeah, what a good, what a wholesome young man. Like,
Yep.
what a wonderful guy.
Just
but,
watch his lives if you ever see him his lives. Like, just
but
listen
Luis,
to
you
how
asked
he's
about the 8-hour documentaries. I will send you the links. I get shared on other people's YouTubes because his shit gets nuked a lot. I will send you guys, if you haven't watched, it started with a 4-hour documentary, then a 6-hour, then an 8-hour.
That hasn't been
No.
covered by
This
other
guy,
people.
this guy connects literally everything.
But by connecting everything, you connect nothing. You ever heard of that problem?
Well, and he has since recounted all of his stuff, but it's still worth it to watch the. If you have nothing to do on a Saturday, smoke a couple of bowls.
You know what I've been
watch this.
watching? Somebody's argument that we all live in a simulation, just to listen to like a cohesive argument. Like it's a 2-hour. I've been going through it. I'm like, it's not bad. I mean, it's going over the fundamentals, but it's a more complex thought experiment. Is forget the concept of flat Earth. What if we all live in an active simulation of some kind? Because
Agreed.
physicists,
There's arguments for both.
but when the smartest people in the world are all saying there's a very high likelihood we are in a simulation, shouldn't we start conceptualizing the idea that it is potentially?
I'm stuck in a bottomless pit.
We're stuck in a bottomless pit. That's
We
how
are
it goes.
inside a giant turtle spaceship flying rapidly through the vast ocean of space to somewhere.
Oh,
when we get to our destination, when we get to our destination, we're gonna land.
Wake up.
The door's gonna open, and we're gonna be set free on our new pirate island. Because listen, you guys have all been on political stuff all night long, and I got to tell you, I never really got my chance to throw this in there, but pirating is the way, boys and girls. You just live a happy life and enjoy doing what you want without bringing harm to anyone unless it's need to be brought. And it seems to work out for me pretty well. Like, I'm just saying.
The pirate's life for me, bro. I agree.
You got to just start the pirate party like the Pirate Bay did.
Well, Sweden? Is it Sweden that has the actual?
In Sweden, there's an actual pirate party, and they have several seats in Parliament.
I'm okay with that. Maybe when I write myself into a political office, I'll run as a pirate.
You guys know that in Ukraine, Darth Vader ran for office.
Please,
you guys never saw that?
Please let this be a joke.
Nope, this is real.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't need this right now. There's enough nonsense going on in Ukraine right now, man. We don't need a Darth Vader, all right?
No, not right now. They ran in the past.
Yes, Darth Vader ran. It's not a joke. He's serious. He's absolutely serious.
Serious. Unfortunately, it's not a joke.
So, Bandit, you got any last thoughts you want to go through before we get ready to shut down?
Man, I got nothing. After this episode, I'm good.
We just had a fun night.
But that's good though. If I don't have anything to if I don't have anything to interject in the end, we got it.
Luis, what you got for me before we close?
Just go on Twitter and just
watch the dumpster fire.
Watch the beautiful,
I was trying to avoid
that. You're watching history in the making. You're watching movies before they become a script.
Now that you mentioned it, I do have something. Now you mentioned Twitter.
Yeah.
It is alive with the sound of music now, man. Now that Donald Trump has announced his 2024 run, Twitter's everybody Twitter is on fire. And now that Musk is in control and the blue checkmark dumpster fire is still going, I can only imagine the Donald Trump accounts.
Since they won't give me access to it because I refuse to have an Apple product, I'm against it now.
Oh, so they were explaining what it was. Basically, well, first of all, the verified system, the app works. But what happened was there's been a lot of bad developers. And I love one of the developers countered to Elon, and he was like, "You're fired." Because he still said at Twitter, I was like, "No, you're fired now." Because you're an idiot.
He fired him on Twitter, didn't he?
They fired him on Twitter because he was an incompetent buffoon acting like he knows better.
Not only did you get fired, you got fired by a guy who bought your company. You got fired
because he was talking like he's talking out of his ass. I'm like,
yeah,
just rebuild the code is the answer. Like when it's that dumpster fire useless. Yeah,
All this happens. So
I mean, I read the argument. It was ridiculous because to begin with, he asked him, "Okay, give me a solution," and he didn't give him. I'm like, "Okay, go fuck yourself. You're fired. Stop criticizing without creating a solution."
Beautiful.
Yep.
Kyle, where can everybody find you when you're not hanging out here?
Well, guys, I'm at the Big Dumb Podcast. You can just Google that or browse it, whatever you do. Big Dumb Podcast, you'll find me. I'm on all podcasting and podcasting 2.0 platforms. I'm also on Instagram, the Big Dumb _podcast. Yep, you got my link tree right there with all the stuff. I've just recently, I've had a Patreon for a long time, but I just recently started actually promoting it and putting stuff on there, so you can check that out. If I can cover the cost of paying for the podcast every month, I'll be happy. I'm not in this to, make money, but hey, if I can make $15 a month, hell yeah, I won't have to worry about it.
Right.
But yeah, guys, this was a ton of fun. There's so much stuff going on in the world. And I just say, hey guys, just enjoy the ride. Stock up on some beans and some rice so you can make some bomb ass chili. Get yourself a gun so you can hunt and defend yourself all at the same time. The possibilities are endless. And with that, I just have one last thing to say.
Hi, good night, everybody.
Fantabulous, brother. This has been a blast. Of course, you're always welcome to come back and join us anytime. And you guys know that we'll have all of his links over there at unconstitutionalawakening.com, where you can find links from the things we've gone over tonight and everything else, and all kinds of great fun things going on over there. Of course, you guys know I'm not going to shut out without giving you something good to laugh at. So, what is a pirate's favorite internet sensation? Planking. You guys have a good night. Thank you.